Thank you so much for joining us for this SAG-AFTRA Foundation conversation at home with the Movie Bowl. My name is Jenelle Riley. I'm an editor at Variety, and I'm so thrilled to be here today. This is one of the best movies of the year. It premiered at last year's Cannes Film Festival. It was awarded the Grand Jury Prize at the I was mispronounced Deauville. I'm going to make the director tell us. I'm so pleased to welcome writer-director Annie Silverstein and stars Rob Morgan, Yolonda Ross, and Amber Havard. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having
us. So Annie, first of all, name the festival. Pronounce it correctly where you guys won the Grand Jury Prize. Deauville?
Deauville? Deauville, I think. I mean, yeah. I believe it's Deauville. That's how I've been saying it.
I can never get it to come out right, and it's a great festival too. I actually like to start at the beginning because it's primarily SAG actors who watch us, and ask the actors, how did you get your SAG card? Amber, I think you have kind of an unusual story because if I'm not mistaken, this is your first acting role ever?
Yes, it is my first acting role ever.
Wow. And but what about Rob and Yolanda? How did you guys get your SAG card?
Rob.
Ladies first. Ladies first. Go ahead,
so I got mine for New York Undercover.
Were you a bad guy or a cop?
I was a good person, bystander. I knocked out all my stereotypes. I was a pregnant crackhead that got shot.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Rob, what about for you?
I worked until they made me get it, and I think the job that I had to get it before I could do was this job called Believe on NBC. It went one season, and that job is the one that I had to get my SAG card with.
And Annie, I just always like to ask, first-timer stories. Was there a moment that you realized you wanted to be a storyteller, a writer-director, something you sort of consider your first project?
I got into it in a kind of backdoor kind of way, I guess. I mean, I was really into youth work and social work for a long time before I went to film school, and used filmmaking as a way of working with teenagers in rural communities. Also communities where poverty was a big issue. And we worked using video and telling digital stories as a way of them like expressing themselves and talking about things they were struggling with, and, almost like a form of art therapy. And it was really through that kind of work that was very community-based and focused on teens that I started to fall in love with the craft of filmmaking and storytelling, and decided to go to film school after that.
I kind of can't believe this. I know you've made some shorts before and you've worked on documentaries, but Bull is your feature film debut, which is stunning to me because it's so accomplished. And it's set in the world of Texas bullfighting. What compelled you to want to tell this story? Is this a world that you know anything about personally?
Not prior to moving to Texas. No, it's not, the history of Black cowboys wasn't something I learned about growing up, and didn't see represented in cinematic depictions of the West. And so it wasn't until moving to Texas, I met a man actually location scouting for the last short film that I made. He ended up sharing about his family history. He came from a Black rodeo family. And that kind of opened up the world to me. I was really curious about that history, so often left out of like these concepts of the West and American history, and just through, starting to meet people, met a bullfighter named J.W. Rogers, who is a bullfighter in Houston, who ended up becoming a consultant to us as we developed the script, and ended up playing Rob's stunt double in the movie. It was very much something that I wanted to learn more about, and thought had a fascinating history and culture and part of our American experience that I just knew very little about. And this was a great excuse to kind of jump into it more.
And for the actors, how did the script find its way to you? And did you know anything about this world? Guess we can start with Rob. Had you ever bull fought before?
I never bull fought, but I've heard of Bill Pickett, the brother who kind of set off the whole rodeo sensation. Kind of like the first, I guess, recognized commercial cowboy, even though, the cowboy history and cowgirl history in America, I always understood it to be, Black people being the first. So I was excited when Michelle Satter at Sundance hit me on to the script and said, hey, we got this phenomenal director out there that's doing her thing, and she has this dope script. I think she didn't use these words exactly, but, basically, she brought it to my attention, and I was super excited to see it and thought the script was strong as it was, and said, yeah, let's go down and get dirty and step in some bull stuff.
You weren't intimidated at all? Because I would be scared. I mean, I know you had a stunt double, but still, this is you're first on the call sheet. You got to be there. You got to, work with animals and children, which they say are the two things you should never work with.
And actually, the most exciting part for me was when we were working with the bulls and the animals and stuff directly, because you can't really like put that in a box and direct that. You got to go with the flow and be natural and just like get what you get in that moment. And I like working like that. So the bulls didn't intimidate me, probably partly because of my Southern background also in my family. I have experience of being sent down south over the summer times and working in the mud and working with my hands and, being around livestock and hunting and doing that type of stuff. So that was as a child. And this basically gave me an opportunity as a grown man to be a child again, but this time it was with the 3,000-pound bull,
Wow.
So, yeah, no, it was fun to have Wayne, J.W. Rogers, be my stunt double, because we figured out a cool way that I could be in the arena with the live action all the way up to the point where you basically have to touch the bull. So we played this switcheroo thing that I think worked really well. And, yeah, you just had to be composed in there and make it look like you've been doing it for all your life. That's all.
It's very convincing, actually. I was genuinely worried about you in some places. Yolanda, you don't actually have to encounter any bulls, but it's still such a fascinating part. How did the role find its way to you?
Rob. Rob referred me. Yeah. Rob.
So you guys go way back.
That's my homegirl. Yeah, that's an opportunity where you keep people in mind that are strong and can come through and deliver. And I knew Yolanda Ross had a track record of phenomenal work. And as soon as I read the script and they said that this spot was vacant, I was like, why even not consider Yolanda? And boom,
wow,
she can tell you the rest.
That has to be so amazing to hear.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's because it doesn't happen all the time. But it's nice when it does.
Had you guys worked together before, or you just knew each other?
We just knew each other.
Yeah,
just knew each other.
Yeah.
I mean, Sheila is such she's got so much heart to this movie. What appealed to you about playing this character?
Really the opportunity to work with Rob and something that, I feel just characters you don't get to see.
Absolutely. And Amber, I don't know. I'm so curious about your background. Were you pursuing acting? How did this project even find its way to you?
I've never been in acting before, but they found me at my middle school. I got called out of class and they interviewed me. But when they called me out of class, I was like, oh my God, am I in trouble? But it turned out it was an interview, and actually the lady who was interviewing me, Vicky, she forgot to press record on the thing. So whenever she pressed record, it started recording, and it only got the last of me like listening to her wrapping everything up.
Oh no. I know. And Annie, I know that you work a lot with non-actors. Did you know that you wanted I don't even want to say non-actor now because you're an actor now, but did you know you wanted someone less experienced in that role?
Yeah, we auditioned young people who had acting experience too, but I felt like it was really important to do a big search because I'd worked with teenagers who hadn't had acting experience in the past, and felt like the most important thing was that they could relate to the character, came from, Texas, just felt like they could bring their own personal experience to the role too. And then Amber, I saw that like 5 seconds of Amber just listening to Vicky talk. That was the first time I saw Amber, but she was such a present, active listener. Like I could see so much going on in her mind and in her eyes, and that is very similar to this character that she played, that she's containing so much and she doesn't really have an outlet, and she has so much that she's keeping inside. And so to see someone who was so expressive before they even opened their mouth, I was just like, wow, who's this kid? And so then she came back and we got to know each other.
So was there a little bit of an audition process?
Yeah, there was. It was like a 3-month process, though, because I think it's important when you're working, especially with a young person who hasn't acted before, that they know what they're signing up for. It's a lot of work, especially when you're shooting for 40 days in Houston in the summer. And I just wanted to make it, there's mature content in the script too, and just wanted to get to know Amber and have her get to know me and make sure it was something that she felt like would be a positive experience for her.
Yeah, Amber, how did you sort of feel about all this? Was there ever a point where you thought maybe you didn't want to do it, or were you excited?
Well, at first I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not, because I'd never been in acting before and I hated performing in front of people, but I was like, you know what, I'll just give this a try because I might actually end up liking it. And I ended up liking it a lot. Like, I want to act more in the future too.
I mean, I hope so too. So that this is something you'd want to continue doing?
Yeah, it's something that I really like.
Mm-hmm. What's it like, Rob, to work with someone who's sort of new to acting? Is it kind of fun and exciting? Do you find you actually start to learn things from them?
Oh, yeah, it's very fun and exciting. I think we're all actors, really, in real life. We have different personalities for different situations, and we have a tendency to reach in that bag and pull out that character to get us through those particular situations. Professional working actors, in my opinion, just figured out a way to package that and sell it, you know what I mean, and attach their own experience and skill and talent to it, which is fortunate for me to be able to do. And if I can work with someone who's coming in first time or a millionth time, I think it's all about just being present in the moment and respecting each other as far as what we're both bringing to the scene and the table, and understanding teamwork make the dream work. And I can always learn from somebody just from the basics. It's always important to have your basics strong. And if somebody come in and it's their first day and it's basic for them, then I can learn from them by watching. I think a large part of what we do is just human observation anyway. So like acting opposite of somebody who's their first time, me observing them is enriching me also. So yeah, I have no problems working with first timers or Oscar award winners. You know what I mean? It's all the same when we're trying to tap into our truth and tell these stories truthfully. You know what I mean?
And Amber, for you, you're surrounded by these amazing actors. Did you ever, ask Rob for advice or any sort of guidance?
I don't remember asking him for any, but there's a possible chance that I might have.
Nah, she didn't have to. Amber, she was the character. I was asking her for advice on how to get around those sharp rose bushes. I was asking her for advice.
This ensemble, go ahead. This ensemble everyone has such great chemistry. You all work so well together. And I'm curious, Rob and Yolanda, you sort of knew each other before, but that doesn't always translate to on-screen chemistry. Did you guys have time to build that through rehearsal, or it was a situation where you were just sort of thrown together?
Rob? I feel like we've known each other a long time, but I can't even say we've actually spent time together, over all the years we've known each other, except for maybe a couple times. I think it just, I don't know. It worked. It worked.
It's a testament of Yolonda's professionalism and able to come down to Texas in that hot sun
Man, I got family in Texas. I know Texas.
And she delivered Sheila beautifully. It gave us what we needed and then some. So I'm excited that we did get a chance to work together, and God willing, we'll have many more chances to connect on screen. Because I think what we did do, in my honest opinion, I wish y'all would have saw more of us on screen from what y'all did.
Mine too.
even though y'all did see a lot. Whoever, I'm not gonna give it away. I get to see a lot, but I honestly wish you would have saw more. To be honest,
you guys created this world that feels so complete and complex. I'm sort of curious, how did you go about preparing for those roles? And Annie, how did you make this world so authentic?
Sorry, how did it seemed like it was addressed to all of us. So how did I make the world authentic?
Yes. I mean, I know you had a consultant, which helped a lot, but
yeah, I mean, like through its cast, through the cast and through the places where we were shooting, and through the collaboration of the rodeo community that helped us bring it to life. Like, we couldn't have made the film at all without the Houston rodeo community that's a part of it. We shot several rodeo scenes at the old William Johnson Arena, which is in Egypt, Texas, run by Josky Jenkins. That ranch has been in his family for many, many years. And, J.W. Rogers is just one of the bullfighters who helped us along the way. Teaspoon Mitchell, Jamon Turner, Ray Williams, so many people. And so all of that, just them being a part of it, Ray Williams loaned Rob his gear that he's worn for, 40 years as a bullfighter or whatever to wear. So Rob was wearing his belt buckle, his vest. And so I think
this was before the coronavirus though.
I think everything, we really cared as a team about that, in the details. And so I think that kind of just bleeds through into the film.
I think what really helped also punch up the authenticity is how immersed we were, like she said, in that community, and how welcoming they were of us. We had a chance to make history making this movie. The PBR, we literally were part of the PBR festivities, and at the same time making history by having the first Black man ever to be a bullfighter on the dirt at the PBR. You see what I'm saying? That was Wayne Rogers. So imagine that, the movie shows how far we've come, but yet it shows us how much further we have to go. For it to take this long for a Black man to actually be a bullfighter at the PBR, and for us to actually put that in the record book as the first, is pretty amazing. So the film is already, enhancing the community and enhancing the conversation in so many ways. And I look forward to even continuing that.
Amber, did you know anything about this world? How did you sort of prepare for not just playing this character, but your first acting role?
Well, I actually never read the script, so I had no idea what it was going to be like, besides kind of like rodeo life and stuff like that. To get prepared and stuff, I just thought, how would Chris feel in this situation, and what would she do? That's the best way that I can really put it.
What was the most challenging scene for you?
Well, there was this one scene where I was scared to go down this hill because I thought I was going to fall. I had to ride a bike into the river. And I was like, no, I'm going to fall. But anyways, I tried it, and I did fall the first time. Second time, I didn't fall, and we got that in one shot, which was really good. But
wait, you didn't have a stunt double for that?
No.
Wow.
But it was really good, but I was worried in the beginning.
Sure. Yolanda, what about you? How did you sort of prepare to play Sheila, and what ended up being the most challenging part of it?
That world, my cousins are in that. They do stuff with horses and different rodeos and stuff. And my grandpa used to in rodeos. But as far as Sheila herself, I would say because I had long braids, because I was doing a TV show at the same time, I think Sheila's hair was probably my biggest, the limit to deal with, because I had to put a wig over the braids I had at one point.
And you're in the heat.
Woo! Yeah, it was hot. It was scorching some of those days, but it was actually though also a lot of fun, especially the rodeo parts where, you know, like Rob was saying, we're immersed within their world, and those people were just really, you know, easy and fun to deal with. So they made the whole thing very alive while you're out there, you know, the middle of the night, middle of the day, you know, acting.
Why do you think the community was so welcoming to you? Maybe the fact that some of the people you had involved, but Annie, did that sort of catch you by surprise?
I think it's a welcoming community. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who feel like they have their found family there, you know? Of course, there's the people that kind of are in that world because their dad or their mom did it, their grandparents did it, but there's a lot of people who end up in rodeo because that's where they found themselves. That's where they found their purpose. You know, they felt, and this is like from doing lots of interviews during the research process, they felt lost, you know, like they couldn't find their place in society, and then they found their family there. And so there's a lot of mentorship that goes on. There's a lot of generosity. It's a tribe. And so I just see that as part of the community, but also I think they're excited about a film that they felt like in part they were sharing part of their story.
Well, that's sort of what happens with Chris, is she sort of falls in love with it really quickly, you know, when she's introduced to this world, and you feel how welcoming they are. Rob, I'm sort of curious because you had so many challenges in this movie, both physically and emotionally. Abe is, you know, he's an addict. He's in a lot of pain physically and mentally. And you're also, like I said, working with animals and doing a lot of physical work. What ended up being the hardest part for you?
The most challenging part for me wasn't even about like working on the movie, but, you know, as working actors, we try to work. And while I was shooting this movie, I literally were on 3 different sets in the same week. So I shot Bull, then I went and shot Just Mercy, and then went and shot This Is Us, and then went right back to Bull within like the same week. So like to do that kind of stuff was a little challenging, but fun at the same time, because it was like, you know, this is what we signed up to do, and I'm blessed to do it. So, and I was even grateful to be able to do that, you know, that the schedules were able to align and work so that I could do that. So that was probably the most like stressful part, because other than that, you know, just being able to live in a play world, you know what I mean? Like this is something we got to do for like 5 months, and then we take the uniform off. We literally work with men and women that have lifelong injuries from being a part of this world, or even deaths from being a part of this world, that they can't just take off at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But we're fortunate enough to give voice to that community. You know, oftentimes those people are voiceless. So we're blessed enough to be the ones chosen to give voice to those kind of communities. So stuff like that is fun and it's play to me. You know what I mean? So that was probably the biggest challenge, was working on multiple jobs at the same time and not being able to change my look. We had more tension about me not being able to change my look for the other jobs than just doing the job. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah, I'm curious about that, just continuity.
Yeah, continuity and stuff like that. But then me, I'm having to have 3 different psychologies going on and 3 different scripts going on at the same time. But, you know, it was fun. We had fun. Did
you ever get like confused and show up on the set of Bull and like start thinking you were a prison row inmate?
Yeah. Nah, I didn't get that because, you know, Annie has a way of snapping you back right into her stuff. So I didn't have coming back in as Abe Turner. I don't think. Hopefully, it doesn't show in the film. I don't know.
Not at all. No, I'm just impressed that they could keep the hair and beard continuity from movie to movie.
No, it's just me having to look the same in every damn thing. If you look at all the characters, they literally look the same, except Just Mercy. I was adamant about shaving off the beard for that because I didn't want to disrespect the jail culture, and that's a detail that's true to them. So I had to do that. And Annie and them, they got over it after they sent them. They actually sent them my beard hair, so that if they had to, they could glue it back on. But I believe the shot got pushed anyway. So, yeah, we worked it out.
And can you ride a mechanical bull now?
Oh, I mean, my first day down there, getting off the plane, literally get off the plane from Brooklyn, New York, meet Annie and Monique at the hotel after I dropped my stuff off. And they take me to this, which was actually right close to this little bull riding training ground. And like maybe 45 minutes after I get off the plane, I'm sitting on top of a 3,000-pound bull in the chute. Like, that's how we kind of got introduced to, like, okay, this is what we're in for. But I wanted to get on top of the bull because I felt like in order to tell this story, I needed to know what it felt like to have a bull between my legs. So that really kicked us off. And Annie and Monique did it right after me. So, and that showed how much fun and cool we were in it together after that. So after that, it was like, we just worked.
Who lasted the longest on the bull?
Annie, of course. Annie, of course. We got Annie.
We didn't actually have to open the gate. I mean,
yeah. We sat in the chute, which is actually the most dangerous part we learned, because that's where you don't have any way of getting out. Like, the bull can literally slam you up against the rails and stuff. That was like a fun. It was fun. But luckily we were with some guys and girls that knew enough and trusted the animals and trusted us enough that we were all safe. So it worked out.
Have some of the people you worked with or spoken to in the rodeo community been able to see the film, and what was sort of their response?
Yeah, JW just watched it recently, and he was he was really, really moved by it. But he's also, picking apart every cut where the bulls don't perfectly match, right? Because he's like continuity in the bull riding scenes or anything. He's like, wait a second, that's a different bull, or that's, you know what I mean? Like, so that was pretty funny. He was actually texting Monique just like as he watched it, so she has just like a string of texts. And saying he was like, he couldn't believe those some of the scenes with him and Rob, who he was like, it looks like he got confused of like who was who actually. And he was like,
That's
he really
great.
thought Mom had done this stunt, and it was just so no, that was really fun. So yeah, we're hearing, it's different because we're not having this. We were hoping to have this big theatrical screening with everyone together. We get feedback all at once, and it's more like a trickle right now. But so far, it's been really positive, and people have been really excited about it. So.
Amber, what was it like for you the first time you got to see yourself on screen?
It was definitely different. It wasn't, well, actually it was exciting, but it wasn't like super exciting. I don't really get like super excited, but it was really nice seeing myself up on a screen.
Yeah, it's fun. Did you get to see it on a big screen? I don't know if you went to the Cannes premiere.
I was at Cannes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Cannes was exciting, but not super exciting.
I understand, believe me.
No
big deal. Before we go, I want to remind everyone watching at home for information on SAG-AFTRA Foundation's COVID Relief Fund. You can look in the comments. And I'm just sort of asking everyone, and I know you guys are spread out all over the world right now, what's sort of getting you through this lockdown time? I mean, is there anything you're reading or watching? Rob has like 800 movies that came out this last year, so you can just keep checking his stuff. Let's start with Yolonda, if you don't mind.
Right. I watched some series. I finally got to watch the morning show, 000. Queen Sono, I love. And I got Sidney Lumet's book.
Someone else just mentioned that they were reading that today.
Really?
Making movies? He has a few. Yeah.
Because he has a couple, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's like I can't. It's in front of me. It's on the back though. I can't turn it over. Yeah, I don't know if that's the one though.
Well, they're all great. Yeah. Amber, for you?
I rewatched like 1 or 2 shows, and then I just play some video games on my computer, talk to friends on the phone.
Are you doing school still? Like over?
Yes, but we had to do me to a new program, so I'm still waiting to do that because we haven't started on that yet, but we're going to really soon.
Are you looking forward to that, or are you sort of enjoying the time away?
I'm enjoying the time away, but I also want to get school over with.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. Rob, what about for you?
Oh man, been writing some original content for myself because sometimes it's hard to play the characters you ideally would like to play, so you got to create it. And I have a script that first draft is completed, and my agents and manager are excited. So we're gonna start pushing that out to the industry. Been learning more guitar. Been connecting with my guitar a little more, and also been honing my skills more in the kitchen. Been trying different dishes. Just made my first frittata today, and
How'd it turn out?
Very delicious, girl.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I was like, damn, why I haven't made this before? So yeah, I've been trying to expand my cooking repertoire because I like eating good food. So yeah, I've been doing that kind of stuff.
Were you always interested in writing? Is that something you've always done?
I was interested in it, but sometimes it takes connecting with the right unit. I never got a chance to be in a writing room. And so a friend of mine, John Lord, who's a great screenwriter, offered, once I shared with him my idea, offered to kind of handhold me through the process of writing a script. And he opened my eyes to the process, and it really worked. Because I didn't have any way of understanding how to approach it. I would always try to write it from start to finish. And then most of the time when you try to do that, after about the 10th page, you get blocked and stopped, and then you don't know where to go, and you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of. So luckily, John Lord came in, and me and him just bounced ideas back and forth and flushed out this story and got a beautiful piece of work.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And then I also got my work, is working with Sandra Bullock and Viola Davis on Unforgiven, a Netflix project in Vancouver at the time before it shut down. Was going to do Stranger Things 4, coming back to that. And I had a film with Adam McKay lined up.
Oh, right, because you're in his new series too, aren't you?
Yeah, Showtime.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, when the Lakers drafted Magic Johnson, and I played Magic Johnson's father.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm still trying to write my own stuff.
I think that's great. Annie, what about for you?
I haven't really watched or read anything. I have a 3.5-year-old, and so when she's asleep, I work. That's my life right now. So yeah.
Are you at work on your next project? Can you reveal anything?
I just started writing it. It's another film set in Texas, kind of a fridge community here, and I'm on page 3.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I want to remind everyone, you can find this movie now, video on demand, all the platforms. Please check it out. It's such a beautiful movie. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Really
always
fun.
A pleasure.